Queens Lodge Motel and Apartment Building. Cracked and condensed.
Disclaimer, this video is really long. This is what Utopia was supposed to be. For those of you who don't know, Utopia was a film I started shooting back in August of 2019. The main bulk of filming would take place over 3 days, and then we would finish the film when we could. And when I say we, I mean me, and the total of 3 actors who I had playing recurring characters throughout the film. Utopia was my first attempt at a feature film. I had come off a few good short films and a bunch of videos I made for fun, and for the most part I was consistently proud of myself and proud of my work. And that's important, and I'll come back to that later. I've been consistently improving and things were looking up. Then I embarked on my first attempted long-form film, Forget. Forget was supposed to be about 45 minutes in length, and was meant to be an expansion and continuation of 2 of my previous short films, It Was Only Once and Retro Annulment. Forget isn't what the video is about, but for the sake of context, Forget was basically my first taste of failure. The first time I gave up. The first time I had to kill my darling, or in script writing terms, your favourite parts, the things that you fight to keep in the script, are actually the things that need to go. It's the same for projects. As much as I wanted it to work, Forget was doomed to fail. But I remained vigilant and not disappointed. Then I wrote Utopia, my first feature. Utopia was 41 pages long, which is the longest script I've written, but this is considered to be short for a feature, and admittedly, I focused too much on dialogue, and not enough on the scene descriptions. In film, they say a minute a page, so that's only 41 minutes of written content. My first mistake was not understanding what it meant to properly script a feature, let alone any length of film. Forget suffered from similar issues, and I know exactly why it happened this way. It Was Only Once basically had no script. I made that film on an idea alone. Retro Annulment has the idea and has a plot, but no scripted actions or dialogue. Unfortunately, my takeaway from these 2 experiences was that I could rely on my skills to improvise on the day. This was mistake number 2. Okay, I hope you're all ready for this not so quick summary of Utopia. We were introduced to Sarah Walker, a young adult who appears to be living alone, hunting for food and tending to a plot of land. When she sits down to talk to a camera, she explains that she's completely alone, as everyone on Earth has seemingly disappeared. When we travel back 5 months, we see Sarah and her friend Alice. We learn that Sarah has always felt lonely, even when there were people. We also get a hint towards Sarah's complex past with her family. a sequence shows Sarah moping about the place, intercutting with news footage explaining the new Tesla towers. In short, the towers give the planet worldwide free electricity, as envisioned by Nikola Tesla. Thanks to my dad for helping me write the science fiction elements. Because, yeah, I don't have a big brain. It's scripted that Sarah wakes up in an empty home, but I didn't actually film that, so oh well. Sarah walks into an empty town, which for me is Ipswich. What a lovely place. The streets are empty, despite being free in the afternoon on Friday. This makes Sarah freak out and have a wee panic. Cut to the present, although in my edit, this is where we see a montage of Sarah finding a gun, a bow and arrow, and siphoning fuel from a car, and we finally catch a glimpse of a tower. Then, title credit. Now in my edit, that actually takes place about half an hour in, so it's a unique place for a title credit in a film. But hey, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, did I? So we see Sarah find the house where she stays. We see her playing with a knife and toying with the idea of suicide. Sarah makes a sign that tells people who might be out there where she is. She then hangs it in the town. Then, when she's driving, she sees a mannequin in the road. I mean, I pretty much stole this idea from I Am Legend, and I don't even care, so she questions the mannequin as she drives down the road most days, and it's not usually there. She then goes to a church, as she feels like she could fall to religion in her pursuit of answers and comfort. Upon leaving, she sees a smoke trail in the sky coming from where she's set up. She rushes back to the place to find where she keeps her food has gone up in flames. Now she's at a very low place. The next day, she sets off somewhere unknown, before noticing a figure standing in the road ahead. Can I just say that to this point, this film is basically just a big mess of ideas and elements, and who knows what the fuck I was thinking, really. So Sarah has now met Kate. They are the same age. Sarah asks Kate some of the obvious questions, and then the audience is shown flashbacks, where Alice explains to Sarah the importance of trust. In order to get trust, you have to give it first. These are some big brain ideas from me here. Back to the present. Sarah does just that. She trusts Kate, and now they're all good. Where is the conflict, you may ask? Who knows? Mistake 3 was not understanding conflict, and the importance of constant conflict throughout the script. Sarah shows Kate about the place, and they sit and talk for a good chunk of the film. Where's the visual exposition, you ask? That's mistake number 4, not understanding the importance of visual exposition. They then have a bonfire to mark the passing of a year after they've met. Where is the time frame? I don't listen, alright? I just wrote this, so I don't know. They kiss, but decide that they love each other as friends, because love is complicated, and I thought I could have a go at exploring that sort of avenue. They live happily for a while, but in the background, they're both sad. Kate is sad because she wishes her family would come back. Sarah then decides that the towers are the problem. As she comes to the conclusion, the towers opened on the same day everyone disappeared. So, she leaves to blow up a power relay, which is what keeps the tower from turning off. Of course, she decides to go out with it, because movie. So Kate confronts her before she can blow herself up, and they basically scream about love and family for 5 minutes. Then there is a montage of them living happily for something like 5 years. Again, time frame, who needs it? Then Sarah actually blows herself up anyway, and everyone comes back. Hooray! In her final video, Sarah explains how in the absence of people, the planet began to self-repair and began to flourish. Her message for the returning people is to keep the world alive. The end. Well, it was the end. Until I decided to write an introductory scene where someone sees their friends disappear in front of their eyes. This turns out, at the end, to be the twist ending. After everyone comes back, they see her message. The scientists try to fix the towers. So they basically create the same situation again, but with someone else. Because why should films have proper endings? They shouldn't. Well, no, they should. Don't take that lesson away. They should definitely have proper endings. And that's basically it. That is Utopia in a nutshell. Utopia, as you can tell, was a collection of different ideas that I tried to make into something coherent. And of course, it didn't really work. Utopia is a product of my youth. And I realised that more than ever. Now that you've seen some footage, just playing in the background of the explanation and the summary, you know it doesn't look half bad. And it's a good thing that you weren't subjected to the audio because it sucked. And I learned some very, very valuable lessons from this film. And I've already talked about some of the mistakes I made initially with script and with shooting process and all this. But now for the hard lessons, and they were hard for me more than anything. The main shoot, as I said, was over 3 days. And I decided to go at it alone. This was a big mistake. I clearly underestimated the workload. My camera rig probably weighed about 7.5 kilograms, which is equivalent to about 16.5 pounds. Or if you were going to carry 7.5 bags of sugar around all day, which on these days that were averaged about 30 degrees centigrade or 86 degrees Fahrenheit in heat, was a big mistake. I probably almost suffered from heat stroke. I don't really remember too well, but don't embark on this kind of project alone. It is painful. The main issue at the end of the day is that I couldn't pour all my focus into all the areas that I needed to pay attention to. Sound being neglected the most. Again, just don't work alone. It's not worth it. I think the main thing that probably plagued the experience and made me doubt my abilities the most and basically made me not be a good filmmaker was when the original actor, who I had lined up to play Kate, dropped out of the project. Now, personal family issues are more important than my film, especially ones so seemingly serious and detrimental. I understand the reality of the situation, and I understand why the actor decided to drop out. But for me, having already shot 1 full day of my 3-day shoot, having poured money, sweat, heart, and blood into this film getting it off the ground, this news was completely devastating. This launched me into basically one of the worst panic attacks I've ever had, and thank goodness my friend was around to fill in the role, and thank goodness she was already an actor, because it was one of the most stressful moments of my life, truly. And I'll come back to this later, but for the record, I don't blame the actor for choosing their family first, of course. And in a way, it isn't their fault. The film failed. In no way is it their fault. The situation as a whole killed the film. My next mistake was misunderstanding the importance and the value of good sound. Sorry, Dad, for not listening. Thank you, Piers, for drilling it into my mind. I was under the naive impression that lavaliers and radio mics were the way forward and the ultimate tool to capture dialogue, and in a lot of ways they are. But having worked with a proper boom cardioid microphone, I can say they are definitely the way forward. With lavaliers, I experienced scratching, rustling, poor levels, just inconsistent audio. And of course, I'm actually the only person to blame for this, just because I wasn't paying enough attention to it. My university film lecturer said to me, a film can look shit, but if it sounds good, it's a movie. And yeah, I agree. I was wrong. Sound is important. And I will admit that filming on location for those 3 days was the most stressed, anxious, tired, self-loathing and depressed I have ever been in my life. And the sad thing is, just like the terrible sound, I engineered the whole thing. Here is a clip that I recorded after we concluded one of the days of shooting. I personally think I look tired in it and need a haircut. And I actually admire some of the enthusiasm there. Right. Filmmaking. Here I am. I've recently started working on my first feature film, Utopia. It's day 2 at the minute of the main bulk of the filming. Obviously, it's been in the works for goodness knows how long. I had the idea a while ago. Honestly, it's been fun, but it's been hard. I'm trying to keep on top of everything, and that's okay. But not everything works, and I think that's a big part of it. It's also weird having the camera be on the other side of the room because I'm wired up, so that's odd. I think it's been the hardest shoot I've done so far. I think Retro Annulment was pretty easy. Forget was pretty straightforward when it was still a thing. This is only once we filmed it over 3 days, but realistically it wasn't 3 days of shoot. It was a couple of hours of shoot, and however long we just spent talking about it and getting through it and all that. This is quite similar, apart from we're keeping quite a good pace here at the minute. I think well, let's just talk about some problems so far. Some of the main issues have been obviously with the real world, it usually has some sort of effect on the film, doesn't it? So Lucy, who was going to be the co-star, had some personal issues and she couldn't film. And these are pretty much the only 4 days that I can film. So it's not easy when after the first day you find out the actor we're going to have for the next 3 days is having this terrible personal issue, and it's obviously inconvenient for everyone. So that wasn't very fun, but I think obviously I got around it. I've got a new co-star who does drama, happens to own the place where we're filming at. So I think it all worked out in that sense. But obviously I had my 15-minute panic attack about, why the film isn't going to work. And I was pretty fucked up about it. They were the 15 of the worst minutes ever. I don't know, actually. They were pretty. It was pretty bad. I didn't have a good time. But obviously getting the issue resolved was good. But, you know. What else is there to say? It's hot. It's too fucking hot. It's too hot out there. It's too hot in here. It's too hot all around. It's raining this morning. That was lovely. It was nice and cool. We got some good stuff done. But now it's fucking hot and there's flies everywhere. Every fucking where. You've probably seen a fly throughout this little bit. You've probably seen one. It's, you know, they're small things, but like, flies are literally small things. But I mean, the issues are small things. They amount to quite a lot after, 2 days of the shoot. I thought I'd need 4 days, but I don't know if I will. I might only need 3. We'll see how it goes. Because obviously then we have a week of filming everything else. And that's going to be, that's going to be a struggle. So I'll try and keep you updated a little bit. I was thinking about making a documentary about the making of this film, but there's just I'm already doing too much. I don't want to have to think about, setting the GoPro to record or whatever the hell. But yeah, I think the film's shaping up to be pretty good, I think. I don't know. It's impossible to know, really, until the edit, if it is actually going to be any good. Sure is, it has me worried. Always has me worried. Because I don't want to jump the gun. Most people make 10, 15 short films, good quality ones, before even considering anything near feature length. And here's me, 18-year-old kid who feels like he's made 1 million short films, when in reality he's made 5 good ones. It's it's difficult. So I wanted to make a feature before I go to uni, because university is going to take up a lot of my life. You're going to feel the effects of that. Let's be real. So it's been a lot so far. It's been a lot. And there's been fun, there's been sadness, there's been just dead silence. And I don't know if that's I think it's just me. It just happens sometimes. When I'm filming with Hannah, and sometimes we just sit there in complete silence. And I can't think of what to say, but there are things that I want to talk to her about. But a part of me, I don't want to say I feel empty, but a part of me does when I'm doing this sort of thing, because there's a lot of pressure. I just desperately don't want to fuck things up. It's been too hot. On the first day, I think that was my one big thing, is that I wasn't talkative. I probably wasn't that fun to be around. She probably didn't have fun at all. But I did, I tried. This is going to be a long bit. No one's going to want to watch me talking for fucking ages now, are they? if I can get some behind the scenes stuff, then I will. But my method of filmmaking isn't one that I'd recommend copying. Not by any means. Yeah, fuck it. That's all I had to say. Yeah. In a bit. See you in the next time I fancy talking to a camera for an hour. So, we've officially finished filming at the cabin. I think it went well. I'm currently packing stuff away, which is why I'm a little bit on the stress side, I suppose, but I'm very tired. It's been a long shoot. There's been a lot to do. I'm packing up all the stuff at the moment, which is not very fun, but someone has to do it, so I suppose it's me. I think another general issue Utopia had was me. Or more specifically, me as a director, I say in quote marks. I clearly am not the director of this film. I basically gave the actors, Hannah and Jess, some very loose instructions, and from there basically focused on just the cinematography. And I think it definitely shows, because by no means are Hannah and Jess bad actors, but in Utopia there is some bad acting, which is my bad. The final scenes in particular are jarringly bad, even from a cinematography aspect, just not good. I can try and explain my inability to direct these people. As I said all that time ago, the actor I had planned to be the co-star dropped out due to family issues. That's fine. Not their fault at all. The issue was I'd actually spent months planning how to direct these two actors together. And I had a vision of exactly how they'd play it. And of course, never happened that way. So it's not an excuse, it's just like, you know, it was kind of... It's not an excuse. It sucks. So, if I were to jump back to the day I finished the final scenes of the film, that being final in chronological order, I mean I wasn't done filming at all, I'd say I was still full of hope. Full of hope that this movie wouldn't be a complete disaster. And boy was I bloody wrong. I mean, the first time I pulled the raw files into my then go-to NLE, which is Premiere Pro, I knew it mostly all sucked. I knew the sound was probably the worst part of the film, other than the dialogue-heavy story. At the time, I didn't really know exactly why it sucked and why it was bad, and I've already explained it to you, but for me, it was a shock to the system. The editing process, however, was fun, and that's because I just like editing. Getting something right, getting the rhythm of the story is great. Some scenes in Utopia have good synergy. The original version of Sarah and Alice's introduction together was really strong. Mainly because I was actually directing, and because my vision was being met. The intended vision.
Sarah? Sarah, you asked me to get you up, so I made you some coffee.
Oh.
Cheers.
No problem.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me stay, by the way. I
No
really
problem.
appreciate it.
It's okay.
See you downstairs in a minute.
I'll see you in a minute, yeah. Morning.
Yeah.
How was the sofa bed?
Surprisingly comfortable.
Okay, good.
Like, I didn't think it would be, but
I'm surprised.
I slept, so we can't
That's
get a
okay.
win.
Oh.
So how's things?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, I know it's been really tough for you since things didn't end well with your mum before she left.
Yeah.
Look, I can't even imagine what you're feeling right now, but I'm here for you, okay?
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without my best friend Alice.
What? Okay. You know what's opening next month, though?
Let me guess. Another government facility where I can get my memory wiped?
No. The towers.
Oh, those bloody towers.
Well, I think they're interesting.
I think they're a waste of time, space and energy.
Okay. Someone's a little overly opinionated on the effort to unify the world and completely destroy the electricity bill.
I just think, I don't know, why fiddle with science when, I mean, you know, surely there's another way.
Well, unless you can think of another way, then no.
Alien invasion, uniting the Earth over the common alien foe, instilling their fancy technology to create unlimited energy.
The fact that you came up with that theory so quickly is impressive, also slightly concerning. As well as that, I think we need to head off.
Yeah, but I guess we do that.
Good theory, though.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, I think if aliens invaded, we would die.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Not necessarily.
well, I think we'd be the first to go.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, how's Tom?
He's really good. Yeah,
Okay.
he's really lovely. Yeah, but it's still quite casual.
Okay, yeah.
Like, we don't really know where we're going with it yet, but
Mhm.
it's nice. But he said that when you came over, he thought you were really lovely.
Oh, that's
Really liked
nice.
hanging
That's
out
really
with
sweet.
Yeah. Why don't you come over as much anymore?
Well, I don't think it'd be a bit weird now. I just don't feel like it would be as normal as it was before. Don't give me that look. It would be weird. Because I don't have someone like that, do I? I feel a bit out of place.
So, what happened with you and James?
Me and James.
You're not good.
No.
Say, Sarah, you're meant to tell me these things.
What would be the point?
Well, because I'm your friend, and because I care about you, and I care about your relationships, and you know, you're not going to be alone forever. You will find someone.
The scene where Sarah explores an empty town was also great stuff. I got perfect coverage, the actor played it perfectly, and the edit was pretty slick. The bonfire scene was good as well. The sound wasn't perfect, but the cinematography was strong and the acting was good. The scene where Sarah plays with a knife is also strong. I don't like much of Utopia, but I do like pretty much all of the cinematography. Go me. Now, I tried really hard to save Utopia, like really hard. I tried to save it in the edit again and again and again, and this never really worked. I tried to continue the shooting process with the actors to get it done. This never happened. I tried to write additional scenes, shoot additional shots, record additional sounds to fix the film, and it never was going to work. I even tried to write the film into a 4-episode miniseries where I'd shoot 2 more episodes focusing on Kate and a new character called Jack, who came back after Sarah attempted and failed to save the world. This was the only idea that ever actually came close to reviving the project.
It's the purpose. It's in the art.
But it's hard for me to look past the poor starting material and the messy, really messy first 2 episodes. And to be honest, I'm even still tempted to get this going. Just let me know if there is any interest at all. If there's not, then I just won't do it. My final attempt to save anything that even closely resembles Utopia was with the World of Hans Zimmer music video contest. I decided to use the mold of Utopia and create a super condensed version of the film. Give it a watch. It doesn't suck too much. This final attempt was basically flawless, and I could live without actually fixing Utopia any further, which is a first. In conclusion, in a way, I saved Utopia. I tried several different ways of saving it, and I didn't save it in the way I would have liked to. But oh well, I'm happy now. Utopia taught me so much about the practice of filmmaking, and I hope it taught you something too. I feel like this video should probably end soon, so if you want me to upload Utopia the unfinished film, then let me know. Or if you want Utopia episode 1 and 2, then I can upload them as they are, or I can add some written explanations where some of the gaps are, so that you understand when something isn't finished. I won't do it if you don't want me to, so just let me know. Hope this has been an interesting video. It's certainly been some useful reflection for me, and the whole experience, although actually immensely traumatic, has been a useful learning experience. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.